Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Good evening.
Welcome to our weekly class. Today we have something great information for y'all. And
We're going to talk about the gut, and we're going to try to get out of here in 45 minutes so I can go watch the finale of Game of Thrones.
All right, but in the meantime, Accidental Wellness, Michelle and Paige are going to help break down this gut issue.
Okay, Hippocrates was once quoted for saying that all disease begins in the gut. Well, he was a pretty smart guy, because we do know now, based on scientific evidence, that indeed the gut is directly related to the brain, which is directly related to all types of disease, eczema, poor immune health. I could go on and on. So, our GI tract is an organ system that resides in our body. It is from our esophagus to our anus. It is also called the inner tube of life. The average adult GI tract is 22 square meters, and it weighs about 3 pounds. So it's about the size of a badminton court, which is kind of crazy if you think about that. So we're going to go over some terms. It's a lot of the information that we're giving you, we had to, it's a little, I don't want to say techie, but it's medically, it's a little confusing. So we're going to go over some simple terms that you may or may not know. So I'm sorry if we're being repetitive, but we want people to understand, because I think that's really important.
Yes. So the first key word we're going to go over is microbiome. The microbiome is an ecosystem, and it's of living organisms in a such as in humans, like in our stomach, in a specific area and place. So basically, a microbiome, our guts are full of bacteria, viruses, and fungi, which is collectively known as the microbiome. So that is one key word. The other key word is flora. And flora is the positive bacteria that lives in our gut. We have both, but flora is our positive one. And then the last word is dysbiosis. And dysbiosis is an overgrowth of bad bacteria in the gut. So hang on to those key terms, and we're going to go over how the microbiome is developed.
Yes, so basically your microbiome is, when we're born, specifically, which is interestingly enough, so those who are born by vaginal birth, as we all know as mothers who've had babies, if you breastfeed the baby will assume some of your bacteria. So someone who was born by cesarean birth,
which would be all 4 of my children,
none of mine, they are more prone to have gut issues, which I thought was absolutely compelling.
Yes.
So anyway, our microbiome is very diverse. It's a very thriving population of good and bad. So it's good guys versus the bad guys. So what we try to do is we try to keep the good guys in check. The bad guys in check and the good guys on the forefront. However, with the adult diet today, it's nearly impossible to do this without supplementation. So Michelle's going to tell you about dysbiosis, which is a term I just heard of, but dysbiosis is kind of like what's going on, and it's the IBS, it's the reason why we have all of these problems in our gut, and it's going to all relate to the mind-gut connection. So, Michelle, tell us what can cause dysbiosis.
So, I'm learning something new every day still. Dysbiosis can be, it's caused by bad flora and bacteria in your gut. And the way that this happens is through alcohol, through smoking, lack of exercise, a very fatty diet or a high sugar diet. Sometimes when people take a lot of antibiotics, the flora is not, the bad bacteria is in there, and it causes your gut to go into this dysbiosis state. Lack of fiber, infections, stress, medications, antibiotics, chlorinated water. So it's a number of things, and so it actually sends your gut into this state, and so then we have more problems. So
yeah, and as many factors as they have, they're unavoidable. We're going to have all of these factors. Right. You'd have to be in a bubble. In fact, they did some, and I'm not going to go into the actual study, but it was with mice, and it was ones that were in a sterile environment versus ones that were in a non-sterile environment, and ones that were under stress versus not. The stress connection, again, here we come again with stress. It is so negative to our body, our stomach specifically. Dysbiosis can lead to these horrible things: leaky gut, yeast overgrown, food allergies and sensitivities, irritable bowel syndrome, autoimmune diseases, the whole gamut of them, obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, eczema, autism, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This, my friends, is why your gut is so important.
And let me say this: the first time I did my Zyto scan, I scanned for a liver issue, a fatty liver, and I said I don't drink. I was so confused, and when I realized it was stress, I was in dysbiosis. It was bad.
People always think that liver is directly related to
either that
alcohol.
or disease. I mean, or it's disease from an infection. So I hadn't no clue, but now I know, and I can honestly say my gut was in dysbiosis.
Well, the good news is there's a stool sample that you can have requested by your doctor, and you can find out if you are. And if you have these symptoms, then you probably are in dysbiosis. If you have gas, if you are bloating, diarrhea, or constipation. It's interesting because people either have diarrhea or have constipation. They never ever get that middle ground. And that must be extremely frustrating, because at one point that was me, and thank goodness no more. Decreased concentration, memory fog, fatigue, joint pain, food allergies and sensitivities that just come up. Sometimes like when you get to be our age, it's kind of like you're settled in with what you're allergic to, but if some weird allergies just start to surface, a lot of times it's because you have this issue with this overgrowth of bad bacteria. I'm just going to tell you 7 foods that are highly prone to give you this without all those other things. I'm just going to give you some foods that are no-nos. Okay. And know this: often the foods we crave the most are the ones that are the worst for us.
Yes.
Of course they are. Okay, so let's see. Egg whites. Egg whites have a tendency to permeate our gut lining, which leads to a leaky gut, which is a completely different class, because it's extremely interesting and extremely complex, and for another day. Wheat. All of our wheat is so processed. I don't even have to tell you about wheat and gluten. Dairy, soy. Soy actually resembles gluten in the body. Peanuts. Omega-6 that is in peanuts is highly inflammatory. Corn resembles gluten. Sugar. Well, sugar is the leading killer of women today. And sugar is one of the highest, most flammable. It causes the most inflammation in your body. So sugar, if people gave up sugar, 90% of their issues would be gone. Period. End. Everything. So the good news is, in 21 days you can reverse dysbiosis.
Yes.
Dysbiosis.
And one of the interesting things, not only the physical part of this, is that people always used to say, oh, your gut and your brain are connected, and I was like, yeah, okay, and I truly didn't stop to think about it. But our bodies are hardwired that way. It is a medically proven fact that it is connected, and we're going to explain to you about these two, the connection and the nervous systems, and how important it is. So
so we have there's something that's another really phenomenal term that I just learned. It's called the gut-brain axis. The gut-brain axis is a biochemical signaling that takes place between the GI tract and our central nervous system. When something horrible happens and you can't eat for 3 days, that's a result of the gut-brain axis. Or if you have butterflies in your stomach because you're about to go on a job interview, all of those brain, gut, stomach, tummy feeling things, those all have to do with your gut and your brain's communication.
That stick to your gut instinct when your gut has an instinct about something.
Yes.
I mean, it's true.
That I never follow.
Yeah. It's okay. It's all right.
So anyway, the gut-brain axis is pretty unbelievable. It actually links the emotional and the cognitive centers of the brain that helps your body function at its most perfect and most efficient rate. So it's pretty amazing. There is a nervous system. We have this central nervous system and the enteric nervous system. And Michelle's going to talk to you a little bit about the enteric nervous system, which is also known as our second brain.
It is actually located exclusively in your gut. And just like the nervous system in our body, it is affected by everything that we put in there. It is located in the gut, and it communicates with your brain and the central nervous system via the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve, it can be severed, and your body is still going to have that connection between the enteric nervous system and your brain. So when people have bypass surgery or it's damaged in any way, that vagus nerve may be damaged, but there's still that communication because that's just how we're hardwired. So the enteric nervous system is your second brain. So
the interesting thing about the enteric nervous system is this: people who have weight loss surgery, even though this enteric nervous system can completely operate on its own, it doesn't need to talk to your brain.
Right.
So that's why people who have diet surgery, sometimes they don't work, because that brain in their stomach is ruling their behavior, which is problematic because then you're messing with your actual brain when you're full. And with all that said, it's an extremely powerful system in our body that is compromised greatly when it's not in check. And right now, probably, if I had to guess, I'm going to say 75%, and that's probably extremely conservative.
Yes.
I think everybody has a bad gut flora or has something that is as a result of their gut. I hate that word gut.
And that's a lot of our emotional issues and why we eat and why we do the things we do. But luckily, Young Living does have products that we can use to help us along with our gut.
Yeah,
and
supplements, because nobody's going to have that perfect
correct
diet.
Right. Nobody's going to have the perfect diet.
We're going to give
still,
you some
every once in a while,
recommendations.
need Popeye's chicken, and I know it's not good for me. I know.
Oh, I would.
But sometimes I need, you want that greasy food. You're craving it. So something's making me crave that. But anyway, so
that's your enteric nervous system.
My entire nervous system's out of check. Wait.
So if anyone has questions, ask us questions,
please,
because
I have my computer right here.
We've studied ad nauseum, so I would I'd be open to a question or two. But we do have great supplements, and in fact,
well, let's
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say let's start here. So, enzymes. Does everybody know what an enzyme is? It's actually proteins taken to digest your foods. Okay. So we need enzymes to help us do that for a healthy
to break down the foods
that we're eating. Correct. So one of the
we have obviously all of these. One of the enzyme products is Essential Zymes 4.
Yes, and that is
Red Hill. And it comes in a blister pack.
Yes.
Essential.
It's taken.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's taken with your food. It helps improve key nutrition for digestion and absorption, because it does good to take vitamins and minerals and stuff that your body can't absorb. So you need this to help you body better absorb the food. It's going to break down the fats, the proteins, and the carbs, and it helps with balancing the enzymes in the body and your digestive tract, and it's soothing and calming to the digestive tract. You can take 2 with your largest meals of the day, and then that's Essential Zyme 4.
And I think something to note about Essential Zyme 4, for people who have had weight loss surgery, these are great because it's for people who have a very low nutrition. Correct. And so it aids in the nutrition you do take in. It's gonna
not only that, because when you have that surgery, your body needs a certain B vitamin, and your body can't absorb that if you don't have good digestion. And so this is one of the things that absolutely is a necessity for people who have had that. Then regular Essential Zymes, it's taken when your pancreas is weak. So it has things in there to aid in digestion for your pancreas to help you eliminate toxic waste. It does aid in digestion and supports your liver. So you take one of those capsules 3 times a day with your meals, and It does help if you have a weak digestive system. It also helps with that as well to aid your liver.
I know a lot of people are often confused about which essential enzymes
to take
or which enzymes to take at all. I think it's a matter of preference. I take Allerzyme now because of my allergies, because I think that enzymes are seasonal, and Allerzyme is an enzyme for digestion. In addition, it also acts as a histamine, and they're so easy to take, those little tiny fennel
It
pills.
helps with pressure and bloating and gas.
And it cuts down, it breaks down your carbs.
Yes, the sugars that are in your gut, it breaks them down.
So that's great.
Yes.
Hurrah for Allerzyme. Another one that I take, and it's like I said, seasonal. Usually when you're detoxing, was probably I was detoxing in the winter. Detoxine. I would take 2 of those at night, and those are an enzyme that will break down your foods. But you take them at night because they also act as a detoxifier.
It helps digest the starches, the sugars, the proteins, and the fats. So when you're feeling that pressure of fullness, that's one of the things that the detoxine that you can take, and
I think it's great. I think it's a great all-around one.
And then we have our
my favorite,
Pro.
because I'm the lazy person. I've already detoxed. I did my whole round, so I feel like I with all right, I can do this. I take these, which are out of stock right now, but these were made for children, Mighty Pros, and they taste like little pixie sticks, and they are full of Ningxia wolfberry and all the lactobacillus.
Excellent.
So, but it's a pre and probiotic. I will take one in the morning. I take one at night, and then I'll take some in the afternoon, or if I haven't eaten all day and I feel like.
And so let me break this. So the prebiotic, y'all, that
let's talk about pre versus pro.
Yeah, the pre that exists in our digestive system, in our gut, is mainly fiber. It's from foods, okay? And so we need something to get in there, and so it's not a live organism, but your probiotics are. And the probiotic gets in there and helps with the lining in the intestinal tract, and they're beneficial microorganisms that help balance the bad bacteria and the good bacteria. And the good thing about Mighty Pro is that we as adults can take it, and like Paige says, we take it twice a day, and it doesn't need to be refrigerated, okay? But we do have Life 9 that is a probiotic that does need to be refrigerated. And so if you don't take the Mighty Pro and you take the Life 9, you do need to refrigerate this, and you take it one before you go to bed every night. But you need the balance. So the probiotics helps to take that fiber and the stuff out of your gut and leave the good stuff. So you do need both.
In addition to all of these, I'll say until the day I die, Ningxia will help with all of this. I mean, Ningxia is great. I mean, besides all of the other things that Ningxia does, digestion, stomach, gut health, brain, eyes, kidneys, the whole bit. Ningxia is great for anyone who has blood sugar out of control, who cannot go to the bathroom, who has digestive issues. Because those people, all you guys who have eczema, that's a gut thing.
That's a gut issue.
That's not a skin thing.
Yes, exactly.
Everything is coming from your gut, through your skin, and it's all here. I mean, it's people who go and take a pill because they have eczema, get your gut straight before you go on a diet. 21 days, just get it clean. Start taking enzymes, start drinking lots of water.
Do your Allerzyme, do your detoxine, take your probiotics and your prebiotics, and
you can, in 21 days, you can reverse this, which is happening to your stomach. So before, and it does, it takes a commitment. So that's the downside, is you have to make a commitment. But I promise you, you're going to wake up, and one of the best things that I think personally the brain fog. Yes. I have no brain fog, which I still kind of walk in a room and forget, but I can remember things now at lengths that I couldn't before, and a lot of it has to do with just all that gunk in my system.
Out of your line. I know a lot of times we hear at classes that we do, people always complain about, sometimes I have diarrhea, sometimes I'm constipated. So it's a constant, and they said we don't know the biggest thing is that we don't know why. Sometimes we'll be normal, sometimes we won't. And that was a lot of issue. And then I know growing up, you know, I was never regular like some people were. I mean, my grandmother wasn't, and it was always a constant battle with constipation. And had I realized the connection, it would have probably made things easier. But people who suffer from IBS, that where you don't know from one minute to the next what you're going to experience, this is all gut. And if you just do these simple things by adding your enzymes and your pro and prebiotics and the Nisha, very important. You know, you can have that all straightened out, and you'll be amazed at how your skin will clear up, and you won't have those itchy patches, and you won't be suffering from eczema all the time. It's amazing.
Wanda, I don't know what you're gonna do. Look, when I saw that Ningxia I didn't have my glasses on, and I read about Ningxia going out of stock, I hopped up and ordered cases, and I'm like, oh, that was in Canada, but yeah, that's frightening. I don't know. You know, the thing about Young Living is if it's not perfect, it's not going to be put on the market. So
right.
It is what it is. Let me tell you, we can't get Idaho balsam fir.
And you know what? Just because you can't get the Nisha, and I sympathize with you, I really do. But you have Essential Zyme 4, and you have Essential Zymes, you have the Detox,
exactly.
and Allerzyme. So doing something is better than nothing. And until you can get your hands on some Nisha, I would definitely be doing your enzymes, your supplements.
And I would always buy Mighty Pro. I think Mighty Pro is great to have all the time. I think that it's so easy. Throw them in your purse.
Right.
And they taste like sugar. And I'm sure they have some sugar in it. But they're great. You know, so that's...
Well, it's easy. The kids like them.
Right.
Because I know my grandson has a nervous stomach. If he finds out that his regular teacher's not going to be there, I promise you, and this has happened, my daughter will call me, they get to the head of the carpool line, and he is either thrown up or he has to go to the bathroom. And she has brought him home, and she says, can he just stay with you? And I'm like, that's fine. And he's nervous. That's that gut instinct and those nerves, and it does a number on you. So he started with these, and lo and behold, when he started taking them, he didn't experience that anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So it works well.
I find that children who have eczema, if I put them on a protocol of this and give them a little bottle of frankincense, tea tree, lavender with coconut oil, this is what's really doing the work, and that oil mixture is actually what is handling the topical itch.
Okay.
But it's amazing how it's... I read that the Mighty Pro is not gluten-free.
Gluten-free. I'm going to look right now.
We're going to look it up. I don't know.
That's
a really good question. I do not know. I have no idea. I think that people also who are interested in disease, gut connection, they need to be very mindful of the fact that they need to plan for 3 weeks of doing something, eliminating sugar, gluten, and you can just eliminate 2 foods and you'll know within 3 or 4 days whether or not that was the culprit. But adding fiber, fruit, that's going to make a huge difference. But if you do that and then you start taking enzymes, and if you drink Ningxia or not, taking the enzymes, taking the Life 9 at night, I'm telling you, it's going to make such a difference in your life. It will. It's just, and it's it's very simple. You don't want to overdo it, because if you detox too fast, you're going to feel like crap, just like as if you were doing any other type of detox. You can do it too fast. So you don't want to have a very aggressive detox, but just be prepared for a couple of days of feeling pretty like you kind of flu-like symptoms. But once you get over that hump, it's you're pretty much free sailing, and you'll find that your eyes are clearer, your skin's better. There's just there's everything. Everything has to do with your stomach. Okay, so I think we're looking up.
I'm looking to see. There's a list.
I got to be honest. I did not. I thought it was gluten free. But it doesn't. It doesn't say gluten free on it, so because it's got xylitol.
Okay.
I don't know. That's probably going to have to be something that we check out.
I do not. This is a list of products that are not gluten-free. That is listed on Oil Passing, and that is not one of them. That doesn't mean that it's not gluten-free. I'm just
But the
looking
Wolfberry bars are up there, so they were. It's not. It's at the same time. So
correct. So
the Mighty Bites are not gluten free.
correct.
But
The Mighty Pro,
I think
I
that they
believe
are.
it is.
But we'll do a check. And
we'll
then
we'll
Michelle
definitely
can
check and we'll post on
it.
there. But I don't see it on the list, so we will find out.
Thank you for asking that question.
Yes.
Though.
Okay, they talk about eczema. Okay, so
Okay, eczema. I make more eczema bottles than the law allows, and I do the same thing. But it's out of stock. So once it goes in stock, well, everybody let me know because I'm buying like 10 bags. 2 of these a day, and I do a 4-ounce bottle of 10 drops of frankincense, 10 tea tree, 10 lavender,
and then carrier oil.
top it with carrier oil, and it works. It absolutely works. But this is what's doing the work. That's helping with the the balance of the stomach, especially on a child. If it's a child who has eczema, that'll clear up in 3 days, 4 days.
Okay, let's see what other questions we have. Oh, we have some giveaways too.
We do have giveaways.
We have 2 bottles of Life 9 that we're going to give away, and we have a gift certificate for a session with Miss Carla Aliff for the Aroma Freedom release session. She's an Aroma Freedom therapy practitioner,
And it's wonderful.
and it is awesome. She had generously offered to give a session away, so that's one prize, and then we have 2 of our probiotics. So go with the first question.
Okay.
Paige.
I'm going to go with the one that I think is hilarious. When you rub Digize clockwise on your tummy, what are you suffering from?
Okay, so the first person to answer.
When you rub Digize clockwise on your tummy, what are you suffering from?
I'm waiting. Let's see if we can find. First person to answer will win a bottle of the Life 9. Jesse.
Nope.
Nope. Not correct. Think about Digize. What Digize is.
Don't give hints.
I just said.
That's it.
That's it. Rhonda Sanders.
You won.
Constipation. You have won.
So it's funny, sorta, because I always think about, oh my gosh, what if you rub it the wrong way? Because if you rub it counterclockwise, you have diarrhea. So what if you think, so you know what I do? I rub up and down because I never remember. So, but let me tell you, Digize, which is up here somewhere, I think Digize, I hope I don't always say this about things, but Digize is one of the products of Young Living that I am always hearing success stories about. I take it, I just drink, I put it, I don't even, at this point I don't care about the smell. If I don't feel good or if I'm nauseated, I'll throw drops in my mouth. But it is an unbelievably quick to act oil that will get you out of a bind.
And I don't know what the connection, I don't remember where I even read this at, but when I first started with Young Living, one of my daughters was not a believer, which is, okay. So she was having a stomach issue in my bed. She was here for the weekend. And I remember reading somewhere where you take Digize and rub it on the jawbone and down the neck right here. So I said, just let me rub this on you. She's like, all right, I'm dying, I'm in pain. So I undid the cap, and I literally did this and went to turn to put the cap on, and she screams, there's no freaking way. And I go, what? She goes, it stopped already. And I went, So she says, well, Digize is my new friend. She took Digize home, and that was it. That was it. That was in the story. So, it works.
It will. And Mary Beth just got on. Hey,
Mary Beth.
Mary Beth had a very similar success story with Digize, and I think it was one of her first ahas. Was she thought that she was going to have to go and have a gallbladder removed, and she used Digized and Digized. She digized
herself, and she was better.
But it is. It's a no-brainer for an oil. You definitely, if you're traveling, you should always have. I have it in my purse all the time. But it's one of those oils that are just awesome. Okay, so the second one. Oh, you see, people.
Yes, people do.
You put it
yes.
under your tongue. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked.
Oh, Miss Kathy's first one was successful.
The
testimony was digested.
I wanted to tell you guys too. Kombucha is very good for your stomach as well. I had to do a little kombucha.
Little plug
because
there.
that's all I do. Well, because that is fermented and that's good for your gut.
That's true.
And yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the second question.
And this is going to be for
The other bottle of
Life
9. Okay. So, what YL product is often compared to Alka-Seltzer? What product, YL product, is often, we need music, that's compared to Alka-Seltzer? Anybody?
And I think it's probably one of the ones that people don't know about sometimes, and it's a shame because it's a goodie. I put it in my shake every morning, and I'll say why after. Once people get it.
Pam Jacob.
Okay.
Pam Jacob.
Alkaline. Two funny stories. Another Mary Beth story. So alkaline, sometimes you can mistake in it for Mighty Pro, and then you foam like a mad dog at the mouth. It's horrible. But anyway, alkaline's just good for you to take. I put a scoop of it. I have it, it comes in single packets, just like the Mighty Pro. And then it also comes in a jar. So I put a scoop in my green juice every morning just to neutralize the acid in my stomach. I think that it makes sense.
And my story about that is when I was younger, no one liked Alka-Seltzer. No one that I knew liked it. And I loved it. I would drink it when I didn't need it. Why? I don't know.
I did it to burp.
So I didn't need that help. So literally once a day, I go and I get me an alkaline and I watch it fizz up in there, and I don't know. It's just something with me. I guess I like it, but I love the alkaline.
Well, but it's good too. Like I said,
Yes,
it creates
it is
a neutral environment in your gut, and
Yes.
which prevents disease. An acidic stomach is a bad stomach.
Okay, so this is for the gift certificate for Carla Aliff's Aroma Freedom treatment.
Oh, and I don't like this question for that.
Oh, well then let's ask another one. We'll take a second. Hold on. Yeah, because that's kind of easy.
No, just asking.
No, let's ask this one. Okay, earlier when we were explaining.
Well, some people weren't on. Well, that's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, no, go ahead. Well, I'm just going to say. Okay, so let's see if anybody. We were explaining earlier about the two different nervous systems, okay? What is the nerve that can be cut and you still have that gut-brain connection? What is the name of it?
What is the name of the nerve that connects the brain to the second brain?
It's actually the lifeline to the second,
the lifeline.
Just.
I love MU Pro. Okay, let me tell you. MU Pros taste disgusting.
I don't like this.
Can't take them. But you know what? I take them because I love how they have. Hey, Wanda!
Hey, Wanda! Yay, you won.
Did Wanda win 2 things?
No. Rhonda and Pam, and then Wanda.
Oh, good.
Yay, Wanda!
Yeah, Wanda. Yeah, you know what? But isn't MBU Pro, what a great idea. It's got everything to protect your immune system. It's got melatonin, but it tastes. And you chew it. It's a chewable. It's a big. I'm glad there's only one of them. I don't know what to say about it. You know what I do? I chew it and then I drink a little. I usually at night I'll do like a half of an ounce of Ningxia in water and lemon. So I just try to drink it with that. But yeah, there is
I don't like
no
the way they
simple
taste.
way.
Yeah, I can't.
I do love those though.
So this is a lot of it's so complex with the gut and the brain, and when this is only our first part 1, we're going to probably have 3 parts to this because it is so involved, and we don't want to overload anybody or make it too complex. So this is part 1, and
I think part 2 we're going to look at actual protocol,
Yes.
what hey, I have this, so what am I going to do?
Right.
Without us actually
because
You
we're
know,
not
we're not doctors. Although I may wear a lab coat because I'm freezing in this house all the time. I may wear a lab coat, so just watch out.
And we're not giving medical advice. What we're giving is our educational knowledge that we have learned through researching this and our own experiences.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
Anyway, and we can go through that because I know between the both of us we have gut issues that we can both talk about that we've experienced, and other ones that people in our downline and friends have asked us about. So we're going to address that, and as they say, there's an oil for that, there's a supplement for that. And again, remember, it's a lifestyle change.
It is.
It's not just I can take this and still eat Popeye's chicken and everything's going to be okay. You need to settle on a lifestyle change, and with everything, we need to find balance. So
absolutely, and you know, people always say about what your why. There's a gentleman who was in our downline, and he called me one night. And he was on Ningxia, he was on Essential Zymes, and he was on Life 9. And he called me, and I think he was a little buzzed, and he said he was at his camp, and it was the first time, and Mary Beth, you remember, the first time in years that he drank a beer, and he didn't have heartburn. And he could drink beer again, but he had to take his Essential Zymes. But how awesome is that, right? To be able to do that.
And it's a good balance. I mean, because
it is.
If you want to drink and have a beer, that's great. But you don't want to suffer for it either, and so you just got to find that healthy balance. And I'm learning stuff every day still with this, and I'm going to do the 21 days, and I've been working on it already, and I find a difference in how I feel, and how my skin looks, and just and my attitude. Not so much the brain fog, not irritated, because again, y'all, the list of things that poor gut health can cause is just amazing.
And inflammation is the biggest thing.
People talk about losing weight and going on a diet and doing this and doing that, but if your gut is not healthy,
don't even go on a diet.
Don't go on a diet. Correct.
If that's not in order, because you're like driving backwards.
I can promise you, though, if you do gut health and you concentrate on gut health, you're going to see the inflammation go down. You're going to see the weight come off, and it's going to be a fascinating event. That's all I can tell you.
Courtney, the 21 days is the amount of time, the general prescribed amount of time that it takes for you to do a simple detox like this one.
To get your gut healthy.
To get your gut healthy.
To get that bad stuff out of there.
I mean, really, within 7 days, there are things that are happening. But 21 days is generally the formulation for the protocol for a gut
and
review.
Yes, Wanda, your hormones can be very, very much affected by your gut health.
Well, the interesting thing about that too is that other little second brain that we have regulates our endocrine system. So it's if you have, so there you go again. So you're talking about your second brain, which is this gut that we all have, acting on its own, because it can act independently, and it messing with your hormones, specifically your endocrine system, your hormones. So there's a myriad of things. That's why there's magazines, and it's all the hoopla that the gut-brain connection.
And I think too, I know once before we explained it as this, and I'll go back to this because everybody worries about their electronic devices. If your phone or your computer gets a virus and it starts acting up, those are things that are pinging into your endocrine system, just like in your body. And if your memory and your RAM on your computer and your hard drive are having all these issues and it's not healthy, and you have viruses, just like these live microorganisms and stuff, guess what? Your body's going to do the same thing. It's going to go haywire. So it will affect your hormones. So when they say, oh no, my period's coming, I'm getting acne and this, that, and the other. Yes, I know that it changes things in your system, but it also is about your gut. So if you can improve your gut, and then notice when you have your next menstrual period cycle, whether or not your acne is as bad with improving your gut health.
Right.
That's a surefire way. And I always keep track of things. I actually go off of supplements just to see what happens so I can actually document it. And then my husband goes, get back on or I'm going to choke you. So, that kind of stuff.
So this is the deal. So
we need...
I'll say what I take. Are you asking what I take now or what I would take? if during a 21 day, you would eliminate sugar. I mean, you're not going to go rogue as far as this guy did that. He eliminated all sugar. He was very ferocious with his approach, which I love because it's probably what I did too when I got so sick. But basically, so you're going to start eating more fruits and vegetables. So you're going to go on a diet, but you're not going to go on a starvation diet. You're going to limit your gluten. You're going to avoid dairy. You're going to avoid sugar.
The 7 foods that she mentioned in the beginning, we'll list them. Stay away from those.
I mean, basically you're going to eat clean. Right. It's for 21 days. And then you're going to take supplements. Because if we were in a perfect world, we would not need supplements. Exactly. But obviously we do because of just the toxins that besides what we eat are environmental toxins. So basically this is what I do. If someone says this is just perhaps Michelle. Hey, you know what I would do? Start on Ningxia. That's your first thing. Start on Ningxia. Take 2 ounces every day and be consistent. Do not buy Ningxia. It is so expensive. Do not buy Ningxia unless you're going to take 2 ounces a day. Exactly. You're wasting your money.
But I can tell you, there's some other things too. When you take Ningxia, you not only will your gut improve, but other things, and we talked about those, but just eyesight problems.
Yeah, we're going to do an episode on Ningxia because we've had some pretty unbelievable testimonies. But
if you're going to start clean eating,
Ningxia,
and add your essential zymes to it.
Right, and the essential zyme you choose, it's just going to be your own fit. Which you can talk to whomever your upline is. If you want to talk to us, and we can get a little more information about,
And no, for Miss Kathy, you eat clean. You eat pretty clean now. I mean, I know she does. So
Absolutely.
If you start adding your essential zymes to that, and then I would do, like Paige says, take it in a season. If you're experiencing a little bit of allergy stuff, go ahead and do the Allerzyme, and then wait, and then you can do the detox zyme.
But if I were to start somebody, I'd say essential zymes for Ningxia, essential zymes for Super B, and Life 9.
Life 9, yep.
Me personally, I take Allerzyme right now. I take Ningxia, but I take Cortistop, I take MU Pro, I take Sulfrazyme, I take Super B.
Agilese.
We
take all the same.
I take, because that's all my other stuff, but I'm almost at homeostasis.
Right.
So, because I eat clean and I don't drink, and I'm at a good spot.
I know people always tell me, oh, your joints hurt, because sometimes I'll get up and my joints hurt. That's all related to your gut. So when you have these things and you think about that, if you just add that Ningxia, just start off with that. Everybody should drink Ningxia every day. Ningxia and essential zymes.
If I win the lottery, I'm buying everyone
Ningxia. Did you hear that?
Because I just think that it's the perfect solution, and it's the easiest thing.
No, it is. It's very easy. Look, get those little packets. You can freeze them. You can put them in just straight in, drink them out the pack, whatever you want to do, and they're convenient. You can take them with you. And the probiotic and the prebiotic are very, very important. So if you're running all the time and you don't want to put them in the refrigerator, get the Mighty Pro when it comes back in stock. Buy 4 or 5 bags and keep them, because they really are the best.
And for adults.
Yes, you can. The adults can take them.
I call it my little cheat. Oh, and I take that too. So that's my other little cheat.
Yes. But anyway, so we will.
So I hope you guys got some information out of that.
Is there any other questions? See, we don't drink any dairy in this house. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, guess what? We're not cows. We shouldn't be drinking milk. just eliminating dairy is huge, and I'm a cheese freak. But yeah, eliminating dairy. If you can eliminate gluten, that's great. That's hard, but.
And congratulations to everybody that won. And if Rhonda, Pam, and Wanda, I have your address. If Rhonda and Pam will send me your addresses in a
Thanks
DM.
to Carla for donating that.
Thank you, Carla.
We love you.
Yes.
It's a great experience, and I'm happy for whoever won. And for anyone else who's interested, contact Carla Aliff. She does a great job. It's so interesting. Yes.
Yes, and she is great. She's wonderful. And Wanda, I will get you hooked up with her, and y'all can set a time for yours. And Wanda, Colin, one Carla. So thank you very much. And the other ladies, please send me your address so we can mail you.
Beth has a question. Beth, okay, you have Crohn's, okay, which, right, and I take in her defense too. People will say something about, like, oh gosh, look, Inner Defense is so great because of what it contains. And it's easy. You take one of those at night. That's a gel. It's a gel pill. So you take Inner Defense and you take your Life 9. I would add an enzyme. I
Yes,
definitely
would
add
add
or
enzyme.
sulfurzyme. I would definitely add essential zymes 4. Or if you're if you're having allergies, Allerzyme. Or if you're trying to detox, Detoxzyme. You know, so many of these products that we have are dual. I mean, they'll do more than one thing. I mean, this is detoxing you and it's adding enzymes to help you digest your food,
Yes.
to promote healthy gut flora. I mean, it's a
will say
win-win.
this. There was one of the things on here that the outcome would have been, like, especially like with leaky gut and gut issues, would be and result in an autoimmune disorder. And I have ITP, and it was after my 4th C-section. Imagine that, being cut in the stomach and having gut issues that I didn't realize could be the cause of that. One of the things that I take every day is Inner Defense, and I used to take 2 a day, and then I dropped down to 1. There's I take so much other stuff, but that Inner Defense, y'all, is amazing.
It keeps you healthy.
It really, really does work. So, I mean, I don't care whether you have an autoimmune disease or not, take Inner Defense too. It's wonderful.
It is. It's, and you know what? Again,
wonderful.
we have so many SKUs, so it's hard not to overlook 1 or 2. But that's definitely another one of my top 10s. All right, girlies. Well, thank you.
And we will be back next week
Yes.
with part 2, and who knows what after that where it'll take us. But we have so much to cover. But anyway, thank y'all so much, and y'all have a great night. Go watch the Game of
Thrones, baby.
I've never
Finale.
watched it, never have, but
Can't wait.
All right, so y'all have a great night, and we will get those gifts out to y'all. Thank you.
Take care. Bye, guys.